Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this channel called The Supreme Concept. So today we will discuss on class number 32, okay? So actually we have covered up to 31 number of classes. Let us begin. Alright, so we have covered up to 465 number of questions. We will continue with question number 466. So this question says, equator divides the earth into two hemispheres. Now just give it a pause and mark your answer. Find out where is the actual error lies. Alright, so option number 1, there is error lies in part 1. Okay, yes. So as you can see, equator. So before equator we will use definite article the here. Okay, because we use definite article the before points on the globe, like the north pole, the south pole, the equator, like that. See, Subha is living in Chennai since 1987. Now just mark your answer. Yes, alright. So error lies in part 2. Okay, is living is wrong. So instead of is living we will use present perfect tense here. Okay, actually perfect continuous here, because see here since represents a particular time in the past which is still continuing. Okay, so we will use present perfect continuous here. So answer will be Shubha has been living. Okay, Shubha has been living in Chennai since 1987. So error lies in part 2. These errors are made by foreigners. Just mark your answer. Alright, so here as you can see this error. Okay, so this error is wrong, these errors, because errors is plural. So for plural we will use plural form here, not these. Instead of this we will use these. Okay, demonstrative pronoun you can say these. Okay, so these errors are made by foreigners. So this is our final answer. On entering the crowding room, I could not see one person whom I knew. Okay, just mark your answer. These questions are very simple. Yes. Alright, so here on crowding, okay, entering on the crowding room. See, crowding room is totally wrong actually. Okay, instead of crowding room, we will use crowded. Okay, crowded room. So crowded means, what do you mean by crowded? Crowded means having many people. Okay, too many people. Crowded. Sundar is getting married with Sita. I'll just mark your answer. Yes. Alright. So see here as you can see getting married with Sita. With Sita is actually wrong. So error lies in part 3. See, with Sita is wrong. Instead of with Sita we will use what? To Sita. Because this marriage actually follows to form here. Okay, so marry verb agrees with to preposition. Okay? To preposition, married to someone else. So Sundar is getting married to Sita. He studied so hardly he was sure of passing. Now just answer your question. See, yes. Alright, so as you can see he studied so hardly he was sure of passing. If that particular person is sure of his passing, then he must be hard worker, right? So he studied hardly, which is wrong actually. Hardly shows negative. Hardly is a negative word. Okay, seldom, hardly, like that. So hardly means almost nothing. So we will use hard here. So hard. He studied so hard. He was sure of passing. Okay. So hard is actually positive word. Question number 472. If you're coming home tomorrow, let me know at what time I can expect you. Okay. So now mark your answer. Alright. So your error lies in part 1. See, if your is wrong, your shows possessive case here. We will say if you are. If you are. So if you are will replace your. So here your is actually possessive case, but there is no use of possessive case here. Though we both are of the same height, you are more heavier than I. Mark your answer. Alright. See, here error lies in part number 2. More heavier is actually wrong. We should not use more here. Okay. If we use it, it will become superfluous. Right. Heavier itself shows it is a comparative degree. Okay. It is comparative degree. Comparative degree. Heavier, like heavy, heavier, heaviest. Okay. So heavier is the correct usage here. We should omit this one more. After raising the flag to inaugurate the sports meet, the chairman gave a long speech. Now just mark your answer. Alright, so here error lies in part number 1. Okay, so rising is actually wrong here. Instead of rising we will say raising. Okay, raising. So see, rising, rising, rising. This rising means rise, like get out of bed. For this case we will use rise. Raising means actually it says to move to a higher position. Okay, to move to a higher position. So here we will use raising. Okay, he is fatter than me. Now just mark your answer. Okay, yes. So here as you can see we cannot use me objective form. Okay, instead of me we will use I subjective form, because we are comparing subjective case here. Okay, so he me, like so he and me is wrong. He is a subjective case, so we will use I here. He is fatter than I. Okay, every child in the class are wearing sandals today. Now just figure out where exactly error lies in this question. Yes, alright, so error lies in part 2. Okay, are wearing. Instead of are wearing we will use is wearing. Okay, because here as you can see every is here in this sentence as subjective, or you know uh, yeah, subjective case. So here see, we have a rule here, like whenever words like each, every, either, neither, okay, like these words are used as a subject. Okay, so that case we will use singular verb there. Okay, I and him are very good friends. Now just mark your answer. Alright, so error lies in part number 1. Okay, so here we cannot use him. Instead of him we will use he, because this one is used in subjective case. Okay, subjective, or we can say nominative case. Nominative case. Okay, so for this reason we will use he here. I and he are very good friends. See, this sentence is a positive sentence, and for positive sentences, positive meaning, okay, positive meaning, we will use important rule of pronoun, that is 2, 3 and 1. What does this three digits mean, means? So 2 represents second person, 3 represents third person, and 1 represents first person. So for good reasons, for good reasons, we will use second person first, okay, then third person, then first person. So this is a positive sentence, right? Positive meaning. So here we will use I, and if you use I and he, it will be wrong, because I is first person, he is third person. So as per this rule of pronoun, we will use second person first. See, here actually we have two pronouns only, there is no second person here, we have only third person and first person. So uh, let it be, okay, just quit the second person, then we left with third person and first person. So we will place third person first, then we will place first person. So we will use he and I, okay. So he and I actually is our answer, okay. He and I are very good friends. One should look after their parents. Just mark your answer here. Alright, so here error license part number 3, okay. So see, here as you can see, one is the subject here, okay. We are referring one, okay. One should look after, we will use ones, not theirs, okay. Instead of there, we will use ones, one apostrophe s. This shows possessive case here, okay. And yeah, this is the final answer here. She placed the offering to God in the altar. Now find out its answer. Yes, alright. So here, as you can see, error lies in part number 3, okay. So we can use on or at, okay. On or at the altar, not in. So she placed the offerings to the God, okay, to God on the altar, okay. See, altar means it is a raised structure before God, where we actually sacrifice our gift, okay, our God, our omnipresent, omniscient God. It's a kind of table, we can say, raised structure. This is altar before God. Teachers were instructed to follow an uniform method of evaluation. So just mark your answer here. Alright, see, your error lies in part number 2, okay. See, an is actually wrong, we will use article a here, not an, because uniform, if we uh, pronounce it, it will give a consonant sound like y. Uniform, okay. Y, it sounds like y, not u. So as per rule, if we pronounce any word and it sounds like a vowel, a I O U, then we will use and there. But here in uniform, if we pronounce it, a consonant sound comes out, that's why we will use only a, okay. That was it for today's lesson, guys. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new to this channel, do subscribe watch and hit the bell icon so that you will never miss an update from watch, okay. And see you in your next lesson. Till then, you take care.